Hello, добрый вечер, good evening, hello. So we will continue famous match between Emanuel Lasker and Karl Schlechter. So first three games I already considered. So now we will start from game four, and again Emanuel Lasker playing with white against open Spanish, and he chose a4 line, very rare line. Usually white taken on e5 with pawn, but sometimes with knight it's also possible. But much more popular take with pawn after bishop e6, many choice. But a4. So in previous game, in game 2, Karl Schlechter took on d4 with knight, and after takes, queen takes d4, bishop e6. Objectively, position was good for black. But in game 4, Schlechter decided to change variation. He didn't take on d4, but played rook b8. Also b4 is possible alternative. So rook b8 takes. And now finally Lasker took on e5, bishop e6. So we have normal position from open Spanish, but with a4, rook b8. Looks like should be good for white, in my opinion, because a line is open. Somewhere also tactical motives with knight c6. Oh, okay, I can try to explain. So now knight bd2. Lasker played totally standard move, but already here possible to consider knight d4 immediately with idea if knight takes e5, f4. Or f3 even firstly, and only if knight goes somewhere f4. Also possible bishop f4 with same idea. I mean that knight will go to c6. However, it's question how strong it is, because black has also some contraplay. For example, after bishop d6, bishop takes e5, bishop takes e5, knight takes c6 doesn't work immediately, because bishop takes h2, king takes h2, queen d6. But, well, bishop d6 is a big mistake, because white can simply win the piece. And queen h5 is coming. So it's just illustration. So after bishop f4, black should play something else. But if knight g6, knight c6 is coming, and white is attacking rook b8, and this is a real problem for white, because queen d7, knight takes b8 with attack also for queen. So queen c8 is possible with idea. Queen c8 is only move. It's not possible because black has no alternative. Okay, knight takes e4 can be considered, but it doesn't look like serious compensation, because black has only two pieces and one pawn against queen. So okay, black has some practical chances, but objectively should be better for white. Also, maybe not so easy, but okay, maybe knight bd2, castle, bishop c2, for example. Okay, objectively dubious for black. Queen c8, okay, now white can take on d5, and black has problem with his king on the center. So knight d4 was quite interesting alternative, very concrete move, and okay, probably black has something else. So Probably not necessary to take on e5, but if not take, okay, so if knight c4, also knight c6 is unpleasant. White is winning exchange. Okay, black has pawn against exchange, but should be better for white, I think. Also, knight takes e7 can be considered and play against black king in the center. So knight d4. If queen d7 without taking, okay, white can play f3, knight c5, bishop c2, something like this. Okay, but knight takes e5 is possible, but dangerous, because b4 is coming and then f4 is coming. Probably black is not losing immediately, but where knight will go. For example, if knight a4, rook takes a4, looks like already winning. So knight b7, ugly move, but f4 is coming, so f5 is threat. So if bishop g4, queen e1, and then f5 is coming, black has big problem with his bishop on g4. So knight d4 looks like very concrete try, and it seems that black is already in danger here. And important that white is utilizing rook on b8, because in many positions knight c6 is coming. So if compare with normal, open Spanish, d takes e5, bishop e6, c3, bishop e7. Now knight d4, knight takes e5, and okay, so knight c6 is not, after bishop f4, knight g6 simply. And white has no rook on b8 like target for attack. But okay, probably black has some defense, but knight d4 looks like very promising idea in this position. So, but Lasker played standard move knight bd2, castle, and okay, it's well-known position in theory, but without a4 rook b8. Again, white has choice. Now Lasker played knight d4. One move later, as I am recommend. Of course, he has several alternatives. So rook e1 is possible, bishop c2 is possible, queen e2 is possible. Okay, for example, if rook e1, black can play knight c5. Now, after bishop c2 d4, black has quite comfortable game. But instead of bishop c2, knight d4. It's quite a good idea. I think it looks more promising than in same position without a4 rook b8. So if without a4 rook b8, in this position, I mean, the best try for black is queen d7. Bishop c4, bishop c2, bishop g4, f3, bishop h5, bishop f5, knight e6, and black is prepared to play bishop g6 next. Okay, let's try to see what they played. Knight d4 here, and now black cannot take on e5 because white simply will take on e4 and then take on e6, and e4 pawn will be quite weak. White will have two bishops pair, and this kind of position looks like unpleasant for black somehow. Bishop e3, for example, it's not promising. So Knight takes d4 took Karl Schlechter, c takes d4. Knight takes d2, probably c5 not so good because knight takes e4 and d5 is coming, so because of this he took on d2. Also more or less a standard position, but without a4 rook b8. And Lasker played bishop c2. Okay, d takes c5, normal move, bishop takes c5 and something like queen f3. White is slightly better, but nothing special. Idea to play rook fd1, if bishop d4, bishop c3. Not bishop c2, so it's quite provocative move, and Schlechter took on d4. It's, in my opinion, dubious decision, because two double pawns in d line are quite weak, and white can easily block it and organize attack in queen's flank. King's flank, or even in queen's flank, because utilize a lines. So in my opinion, more principle was to play c4, and now all black pawns are strong. They are ready to start attack with b4. Maybe not immediately, so black has idea also play queen d7 and rook a8, queen d7 and bishop f5. If white plays f4 or f5, standard reaction to stop this activity. Queen h5 hardly dangerous because black simply can play g6. If queen h6, rook e8, and then bishop f8 is coming, so white has no serious attack here. Okay, it's complicated position, but in my opinion, black is not worse here. So if f4, f5, and after this already unpleasant threat to pawn on d4. So queen h5, white can try, but what is this? Frankly speaking, necessary to calculate, because after g6, bishop takes g6. And now, obviously, white has draw with perpetual check. Probably they have something more. At least necessary to check it. White can try f5, for example. Not so obvious how black should defend this position. So if bishop takes d4, for example, king h1, queen f6, queen h5 check, and then rook a3, rook g3 is coming. Also possible to take with rook, however. But f5 is coming, then bishop f4, bishop f5. So bishop takes f6 optically looks better, but queen h5. And now, okay, maybe black can try to defend with h6, but queen g6 is coming. So, okay, maybe it's playable, I don't know. For example, queen g6, just take, and then play queen f6, queen h7 check, king f7, so rook a7 not possible because bishop on d4, but okay, white has some chances with f5 or with bishop c3, idea to prepare rook a7. So it's quite tricky position. Also maybe g6, bishop takes g6, black can try something like queen d7 here. It looks like logical. Because now, if bishop goes somewhere, bishop takes d4 and bishop f5 is coming. If f5, again black can take, and then queen g7 takes, bishop takes d4 check, and then bishop takes b2, and it looks like very good for black. So maybe queen d7 is the best try. probably black is good, but okay, it's not so easy to play this for black. I mean, from practical reason, because it seems that white has attack, so probably it is dangerous and at least require good calculation. But I don't see special problem for black. For example, after bishop c2, even bishop f5 is possible. And black is better. So in my opinion, c4 was quite reasonable idea, and not so clear who is fighting for initiative. So black has his trumps as well. Okay, rook a7 can be considered. White has possibilities, but I don't think that white is better. Okay, after rook a7, even rook a8 is possible. It is this to provoke move repetition. But probably here takes and f4 is stronger. Who knows? The same ideas, but with queen on b8 already. So probably if queen on b8, white attack is stronger. But anyway, it's necessary to check. For example, g6, bishop takes g6, queen b7. Position is still very unclear for me. But okay, so c4 was logical, but Schlechter took on d4. Now white has choice. f4 very natural. Also possible to play something like bishop d3 and just play. Or rook a7 also possible. But okay, f4 is very natural. f5. E takes f5. Now after bishop takes f6, queen h5. So this is main idea of white's attack, and it's a problem for black that after g6 will be bishop takes g6. And but we can check tactical resources. For example, that's d3, bishop takes d3, g6, bishop takes g6, queen b6 check, king h1 takes, and bishop g7. So now we can see reason of d3, bishop e6 is protected by queen. And probably everything is fine for black here, because if f5, black has rook f6. Okay, after f5, frankly speaking, black can simply take. It's because queen is protected. So bishop takes f6 optically looks better than rook takes f6. Because bishop, okay, white can play bishop d3, of course, and play just play this position and then to prepare slowly f5. But anyway, bishop on f6 is in strong defensive position. After queen d7, f5, bishop f7, something like this. So bishop takes f6. Is interesting, but necessary to see d3 idea, this tactical, because immediately g6 is dangerous. So f5 is coming, and then if bishop f7, this rook a3, this looks like already losing for black, because rook g3 is coming. So very important if take on f6 to see d3 idea. d3, bishop takes d3, g6, after bishop g6, only now queen b6. Bishop g8, yes, bishop g8, how, here bishop g8, here bishop g8. Maybe you are right, but you want bishop h7, but white can start with this, and now probably rook a3 or f5, f5 now. maybe this is more precise order of moves. And then rook a3 is coming. So yes, bishop g8, you are right. It's stronger. Yes, but immediately f5. So d3, I think, is the best idea. And now, if bishop g6 doesn't work, okay, so I don't see a problem for black because all pieces are good. But okay, Schlechter took with rook, f5, bishop f7, bishop f4, rook c8, bishop d3, queen d7. Okay, black has extra pawn, but surely white has some initiative. In king's slot, they are prepared for bishop e5. Bishop e5 was possible immediately, but if bishop e5 immediately, rook c6, and then bishop f6 is coming. So bishop d3, more flexible move, so Lasker is looking for better moment for bishop d6, for bishop e5. And he did. Queen g4 he played. Bishop f6. Okay, white has choice in each move, so but I don't know if queen takes d4, probably black has queen d6 or queen c7. The question how strong it is, but such motifs. For example, this, if bishop d6, bishop takes d4, losing the piece. If bishop f6, queen takes h2. So white should play something like this, but black can play rook e8, so white has problem with h2 square. So bishop takes f6, rook takes f6, queen takes d4. Okay, looks like slightly better for white, because b5 pawn is weak, h6, rook fc1 played Lasker. Also possible to consider rook a5, very logical move immediately to attack b5 pawn. I don't know how much better white is better, but surely white is better. So black has problem. Also, somewhere can be very bad endgame if image that queens are exchanged and white transfer his king to d4. So black is okay. It's very far from endgame, but in some variation it's possible. Okay, so rook a5, pawn is attacked. If rook b8, okay, white can play even b4, and surely black is suffering. But Lasker played rook fc1 now, rook c6, rook f1. So it's strange play. So probably he wanted to repeat moves, but no, bishop takes b5 now, rook takes c1, this check. So it's bishop takes b5 now, it's not possible, but okay, rook f1, it's strange. So more logical was to take on c6, and black should take with queen, and now just play h3, for example. And still white is better, so if somewhere queen c5, white can try to take, and king f2, and this endgame is unpleasant. Okay, white can also rook a8 and f6. But okay, so Lasker played rook f1, strange play, so probably he expected that Schlechter would repeat the position, and then probably surely Lasker wasn't planned to make draw because white is better, and also I'm sure that queen d8 it's not a try for win for Schlechter, but he understands that he is walls after rook f6, so he's trying to find something better for defense, and he find queen d8. Very logical move, and I like this move because now if bishop takes b5, black has queen b6. White is forced to take after rook takes b6, so bishop is attacked, and then black will take b2 pawn, so white cannot defend. If bishop a6, rook cb8, if rook a5, okay, also rook cb8 at least, so white cannot defend b2 pawn, so it will be easy draw. So queen d8 he played, and now, so queen d8 he played, and now he is ready to exchange queens. But okay, it's question how strong it is. So endgame, I don't think that endgame is so pleasant for black after, for example, simple h3, because d5 and b5 pawns are weak, and white can try to utilize d4 square for his rook from f4, also later for his king in endgame, of course. But Lasker played rook a7, so he has another idea. Probably if queen b6, he's planning to take, and rook e1, and to play rook e7. So also logical, but Schlechter not hurry with queen b6. He played b4. Creative move. I think idea if queen takes b4, queen b6. It's quite typical for modern chess. Black is giving pawn, but for white it's difficult to defend pawn b2. So black has enough compensation for draw. But okay, Lasker not hurry, rook e1, but now he lost control on c1, so probably more logical decision here was just play h3. Open window for his king. Also rook b7 can be considered. This idea to take the pawn. So black has some contraplay with rook c1, but it's not clear that this is enough. So rook c1, rook takes b4. Okay, white has pawn up. So it was logical, but Lasker played rook e1, and he lost tempi. Rook c7 played Schlechter. So he's not happy to see rook on a7. I don't know, probably there are other opportunities for black. Maybe even rook d1 was possible. But after rook d1, probably queen e2, king e2. But I don't know how clear it is, for example, this. My threat is to take on d3 and queen b6 check. Another threat to play queen e8. If this, okay, I can play this. This idea queen e8 checks. So black has some contraplay, but Schlechter. Okay, maybe white has something better, but what? So it's not so clear what white to play here. And because there is pin, so queen has no good moves. Black has some threats as well. Okay, probably not so strong, but also queen g5. Okay, for example, rook b7 we can consider. Now queen g5 doesn't work because check and this. Oh, also even here, black has g6. And I was thinking that bishop takes g6 is strong here, but this is not true. Because after bishop g6, king takes g6 and queen f4 check. And white is losing his rook. Why not f6? Rook b7. Ah, yes, we are considering rook b7. Yes. Yes, but queen g5. So queen d2 is unpleasant threat. And why not f6? We are considering f6, but after check. Immediately f6, queen d2 check. So immediately doesn't work. But I'm not sure that you're asking just in this moment f6. Yes, king on f2 is the okay. So rook d1 we are considering. Maybe queen g5 even immediately was possible. Queen g5, also queen takes b4. Black has no checks at the moment. But okay, also situation is very far from clear. If queen takes b4, d4 is possible. If queen takes d4, queen d2 is coming. So black has contraplay. But after rook d1, okay. Let me think what can be best for white here. Not so easy, at least. So black has ideas. Queen g5 or queen... Okay, but now queen g5 is probably not idea because rook a8, f6 and bishop takes g6. And so for example, if f6 now, okay, after f6 black can simply take. They are playing with extra pawn. And also after f6, no. Yes, I was thinking rook takes d3 and queen b6, but queen e3, so it doesn't work. So doesn't work. Queen takes f6, king e1. Okay, it's maybe not enough. Okay, but simply queen takes f6 and black is playing with extra pawn. Okay, probably it's not real winning chances, but okay, so white is fighting for draw. Rook a8 check where, so yes, queen takes f6 with check. So not so clear what white should play because black has quite serious contraplay. And threats of white probably. Yes, queen g5. Yes, it's possible. We are considering this. Okay, white can try check and f6. So if g6, rook a7. At least white has draw. After king g8. Queen d2 check, king g3. So it's not so dangerous for white. So this looks like only move. Okay, so white has draw, but I'm not sure that white can try for something more than draw. Because black has many checks as well. So, okay, it was quite active position for black, but Schlechter suddenly played rook c7. Quite passive move, so he's just fine. h4, in which moment? After queen g5, you mean? h4 now? Or not now? h4, queen d2 was my idea. And this is... If you propose h4 in this position. Now, probably black is just winning. because if king g3, rook d1 is coming. f6. Okay, but Schlechter played rook c7, quite strange choice, so he's just fighting for the draw, so he's not pretending for counter attack. h4 before queen g5. So here h4, okay, it's possible, but black has queen e8 with idea queen e1. Okay, queen e3 probably. So okay, h4, okay, it's possible, but what? Okay, at least black can play this. And where king will go? It's a big question. In the queen d2 position. Queen, if queen was on d2. H4. H4. Okay. Pawn f6 when queen d2. So bishop h7. Okay. So in this position, we are considering queen g5, right? Or rook d1. Okay, rook d1. What is your proposition? Queen on d1. From the last position, okay, what is last position? Rook d1, now what? Or you want to start with queen g5 in move 31? Now f6, queen takes f6 with check. With check, so bishop h7 doesn't work. Okay, so we are analyzing, so rook c7 played Schlechter, so he just wanted to defend this position. And we will see. Okay, white has choice. They can play with rook or without rook. So Lasker took on c7, also possible to consider rook a4, for example. This idea to attack the pawn. But okay, he took and queen takes b4, and suddenly Karl Schlechter didn't take on h2. The most natural here is take on h2, but he didn't take. And why? It's a big question. So he played queen e5. What is problem with natural queen takes h2? Queen d4. It's logical. I agree. But for example, h5. So my idea is b4 to play h4. So I want to play h3 or queen g3. So if queen g4, h3. If queen takes h3, queen. Time control. Okay, rook c7. Okay, maybe he was in time trouble. I don't know. Okay, queen takes h2. Very, very natural, and it looks like It's difficult for white to demonstrate something really. Okay, queen d4 is logical, but after h5, I don't see special problem for black. So h4 is coming. Looks like black can hold this position without special difficulties. But okay, so queen e5. Interesting, strange a little bit choice for me. g3, h5. Yes, it's true that black has centralization, but white has quite healthy pawn. Queen b6 played. Lasker. Possible, but not necessary. So very logical to play queen c3 and d4. Black has no choice. If not played d4, black is just hopeless, or at least very bad. So after d4, queen e1. Okay, I'm not claiming that white is winning here, something like this, but surely white has chances. What else? Okay, totally possible. Just play h4 to fix h5 pawn. Again, if d4, queen e1. So, in my opinion, white has quite good winning chances here. But Lasker played queen b6. B6. What is idea? So probably if d4, he wants to play queen d8 check, and then queen g5. Probably this was his idea. Now f6 is unpleasant threat. So black should play king g8, and now probably queen f4 is possible. So white has chances to win. But Karl Schlechter played h4. Serious questions, okay. It depends which kind of question you are considered like serious. So if queen d8 check, bishop e8, and white has problem with b2 pawn. So Lasker played b4, takes queen b2. Okay, if without taking queen b2 again, king f3, and now it's bad because queen d8 and white is winning, exchanging queens and winning. Bishop h5 is possible, but hardly enough to survive, I think. So we can check this. I hope it will be no perpetual check. Okay, so Schlechter took. So he has contraplay, not easy to win because queen is active, there are many checks. So now it's obvious that, sorry, I need to charge my phone. Queen e3 check is coming. It looks like black has enough contraplay for the draw. Perpetual check. Perpetual check on it. They agreed to draw. If queen f4, queen c6 is unpleasant, and there is mating threat already. Because, for example, if bishop d3, this and this mate. So, okay, complicated game. After opening, Lasker was better. But finally, Schlechter survived. Probably win for white. Okay, but it's not obvious. As I explained at h5, h4, black has contraplay. Okay, maybe it require more deep analysis. Maybe white has winning chances here, but at least I don't see clear. Okay, maybe bishop e2, h4, bishop f3, but check even then h3 or queen g5. So at least it is not easy win. Okay, so game 5. Now we will see. Now Karl Schlechter with white. Also Spanish, but knight f6, so d6, d4 immediately. Of course, white can play without immediately d4, so totally possible to play rook e1 here. With typical Spanish plan, if bishop e7, c3, only after castle d4. So not play d4 immediately, but c3 and then d4. Here also, okay, I explained that d5 was possible. After d5, probably the best for black is knight e7, because knight b8 is quite passive position. Takes, and rook e1. So knight e7 probably better, and after this, take with queen, and then after queen e2, knight g6, c4, bishop e7, knight c3, castle, and then probably h6, knight h7, and knight g5, something like this. So I think if bishop d3, also knight g6, bishop e7, h6. I think knight e7 is stronger here than knight b8. Also here white can try to play rook e1 is possible. The difference after bishop e7, now d5, it's comfortable. But okay, so after rook e1, e takes d4 is possible. And now bishop takes c6. I explained it already in previous video. Bishop c6 and bishop takes c6, knight takes d4. White has unpleasant initiative. If bishop e7, d5. Now black cannot play knight e7, so knight b8 is forced, and white has pleasant choice to take on d7 and c4. Also, c4 immediately is possible, because bishop b5, c takes b5, then white will have pressure. About Pulugaevsky book, yeah, very nice. Also, there is book, another book about Pulugaevsky. I like him like chess author. But okay, a part of this, so d5 is possible, but also c3 is quite comfortable choice, but only important, so after castle, not play knight bd2, because now knight takes d4 is possible. After this, bishop takes d7, d takes c3, white is losing the pawn, but okay, it's very easy to avoid this trap, so white can play simply h3, for example. Now knight takes d4 is not so good, because knight takes d4, bishop takes d7, white is strong. Also, probably this position is playable for black, I don't know. Because f3, knight g3, it's important. If knight c3, f5. So white has several plans. Also, for example, here white can start with c3, because knight takes e4, rook e1. It looks like very comfortable for white. For example, this. Queen e2. So black has some problem with his development. Probably it's not very dangerous. I don't know. For example, bishop takes b5, queen d7. Probably nothing special. If queen e2, long castle is possible. But okay, after knight takes e4, also queen e2 is possible to consider. In general, such type of position looks like very promising for white. And if black not play, knight takes e4, okay, white has rook e1 standard plan. So now h3. But okay, so what played Schlechter? Played knight c3, bishop e7, bishop g5. Okay, well-known trap was after rook e1, black should take and play castle. And castle immediately is bad move, because white won the pawn after bishop c6. And now white is pawn up. Black cannot take pawn back. It's very old trap. The best for black here, take with this rook and play bishop e8 with small compensation. But bishop takes e4 is losing already, because knight takes e4, knight takes e4, knight d3. After f5, f3. After bishop c5, king f1. White is winning. If rook f8, king e2. If black taken with other rooks, so this, knight d3. It's also winning for white, but the reason is now after bishop c5, king f1 is not good, because bishop b6. And after takes knight f4, e3 is possible, or g5 is possible. E3 is the simplest. But the problem here, knight takes c5 and bishop g5, and black has no defense. Bishop e7 is coming, and black is losing material. For example, this. Now, yes, bishop e7. Important to start with bishop e7, because if c4, rook d7, bishop e7, sorry, if bishop e7, knight d3 is coming, black is surviving. But after bishop e7, black is losing material, because c4 is coming if rook goes. Not okay. Bishop g5. It's quite harmless try. Black has choice. Lasker simply castle. Nothing wrong with h6 in my opinion. So has quite playable position. But okay, he castled. D takes e5. D takes e5. Knight takes e5 because d takes e5. It's probably dubious. Maybe not losing. I mean, not losing the pawn. But okay, we can check this somehow. Okay, for example, this. Black should take with bishop because if take with rook, white has knight takes e5. They are winning the pawn simply. Or not so simple. Okay, we can check. So this. Because of knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e7, rook e8. But okay, so this white will have extra pawn after f4. So probably black should take with bishop. I'm thinking, is it playable for black? Probably bishop takes c3. It's enough. Okay, so probably d takes e5 is possible as well. Of course, white can play something else. So bishop takes c5. It's not only move. Or bishop c6, I mean. Or maybe white can take immediately if bishop takes e4 to play something like this. Try to fight for initiative to prepare rook ad1. Anyway, Lasker took on e5 with knight. Bishop takes d7. Knight takes e5. It's possible, but obviously bishop takes b5 only move because after d takes e5, bishop f6, black is just losing the piece. So bishop takes f5 is only move, and now okay, knight takes b5, d takes e5 look like equality. So knight takes f7. I don't know what is this. Okay, maybe black can just take knight b5, knight takes e4. Maybe also queen d7 is possible idea to attack knight, but I'm not sure how convincing this idea because knight h6, bishop takes... if bishop takes f6, bishop takes f1, however, is possible. My idea takes b5, but bishop takes f1. And there is no mate, and probably everything is fine for black here. We are considering bishop takes rook, so queen d7. Knight takes f7, now queen is hanging. So black should take on f7 or play queen d7. There is no choice. Okay, there is choice, but okay, so we can continue this line, probably queen d5, rook f7, and queen takes b7. This idea to take several pawns. So if rook f8, from my idea to take on e7 and then to take on f1 with rook. And White took several pawns against exchange. Can be optimistic without future. Also h7, h6 pawns are doubled, so probably it's possible, but it's complicated. Bishop takes g2. In which moment bishop takes g2? Here bishop takes g2. Maybe possible. Yes. Yes, this is problem for white. Bishop g2 is strong. After takes, queen g4 is coming. Yes, you are right. So queen d7 probably strong move here. White has real problem with his knight on f7. Okay, so Schlechter didn't play in such complicated way, so knight b this fd7, bishop takes e7, knight takes f3, so Lasker trying to simplify position. If queen takes e7, white can simply play knight d4 with slightly better position, of course nothing special, but more pieces on the board. So he took knight d5, queen d8. Also, okay, queen d8 is a solid choice, but maybe queen e5 was possible as well. Well, and maybe also enough for equality. Because if knight takes c7, rook c8, and then rook takes c2 is coming. If not knight takes c7, black is prepared to play c6, and they will have quite comfortable positions. So it's not clear what Lasker afraid. So knight takes c7, it's more or less forced, because if not take, white is pretending for nothing. So, hola. Okay, probably Lasker was just lazy to calculate this line. White has some resources like queen a3, for example, but it doesn't look like advantage. Looks like totally equal position, because black has active rook on c2. So queen e5 was a good alternative, but okay. Queen d8 played Lasker, solid choice. Knight b6. e5 is nothing, because knight takes d5. Also, we can try to consider e5. Also, c6 may be possible, because knight takes b6, a takes b6, and white has problem with a2 pawn suddenly. Knight f6 doesn't work. Yes, maybe c6. Because if knight takes d5, queen takes d5, black has some problem with b7 pawn. I don't know if black can have easy draw. So e6, c6 I think is better. Okay, but Schlechter play queen c3. Knight takes d5. Again, c6 is totally possible. I don't see any then. Knight f4, queen g5, or queen e7. Queen e5 is prepared. So knight b6, a takes b6. So c6 was possible, but knight takes d5, rook takes d5. played Lasker, rook e6. Now e5 is okay. Even queen e7 is possible. Why after c6 pawn is not weak? Okay, because of concrete reason. Pawn is weak, but black has enough defensive resources. And white has no. Okay, for example, if imagine that white has pawn on f3, knight e3, and then knight f5. Okay, but now knight e3 not possible because rook takes e4. Maybe possible, but okay, it pawn sacrifice. Maybe there is some compensation, but it's very far from clear. So, for example, queen f8. Black has extra pawn. Okay, maybe it's enough compensation after queen g3, but it's not so obvious. And if not knight e3, white has no good itinerary for his knight. And after knight b6, a takes b6, black immediately attacking a2 and have time to prepare rook a6, rook e6, queen c7. So it's not a problem to defend d6 pawn. So sometimes can be weak, but not in this position. So g3 played Schlechter, rook g6. Nothing wrong with g6. Take with the queen. Where? Take with the queen. In which position take with the queen? Here to take with the queen. Okay, if to take with the queen, black has several options. Maybe even this is possible. Just take here. If queen e7, I will take on a2. It's just possibility. Also d5 is possible. Black has extra pawn and okay, white has some compensation, but it's question. Okay, so in the game, rook g3, nothing wrong with simple g6. White has no real attack, so white should play rook e3, and well, position is totally equal. Now we can see that d6 pawn is not weaker than e4 pawn. So somewhere d5 can be threat if white will push f pawn. But okay, white can play something like h3 position, looks like totally equal. But rook g6, rook e3. Not necessary, but okay, so they exchanged this, and it looks like very drawish position. So in such level, nobody would be surprised if opponent agreed to draw here or after some moves, but they are still playing. Queen b4, c6, queen a3, a6, queen b3, d7, c4. Okay, so just equal position, nothing special for both. Rook d7, queen d1, queen g4. Okay, white can play queen d2 also. Okay, queen g4, king e8, queen e2. Now king d8, so it looks like black is quite ambitious. So king goes to c7 somewhere, probably they will try to attack in Kingsland or what, but okay, it's at the moment position still equal, so it's black can come back with king to f8 if they want, but okay, so king d8, queen d2. So black has some plan, white is playing without special plan, but still position is solid. White can try to play h4 to fix g pawn and then g3. totally possible. Immediately g3, it's possible, but probably black can try g5 and try to fix g3 pawn. Okay, I don't know how strong it is, but in some endgame it can be weakness. Queen d2, king c7, a3. So logically that if king here, somewhere white is ready to push b4. b4 was immediately possible, totally possible. But Schlechter is not hard. Also true that after b4, black can just go back with his king. King d8 and then king e7. But okay. Objectively, it's not possible to tell that black is playing for win here. White has at least rook d3 idea with threat c5. Okay, but it's question how big this threat. But king e7, c5. Okay, maybe d5 is possible, but after d5, f4 is possible. So b4 was totally possible, but Schlechter is not hurry. He played a3, rook e7, only now b4, so he's trying to create some attack against black king. This was his choice. Of course, he could just wait because black has no special threats. So still g3 or h4 was normal move. b4, b5. This is risky line because black is playing from his king somehow. And white has choice, obviously. So c takes b5 took Schlechter. It wasn't only move, so queen c2 was possible. But after queen c2, probably queen d4 was planned. Question how obvious this. Queen c2, queen d4, for example. Or maybe check and queen d4. This. If rook c3, queen takes e4 is possible. If a4, queen a1 check. So probably to play this without check. But okay, even this, it's maybe not so clear. Queen b2 is coming and then g7 is hanging, also rook a3, it's some kind of threat. So position, it's not forcing. So after a4, black can take on b4 also. Then something like this. B takes a4 is also possible. Yes. But queen takes a4. And if rook takes e4, I will take, and then queen a7, queen takes f7. And hardly black can be better in this queen endgame. Ah, yes, queen a1 and b takes a4, rook c3, yes. Okay, but Schlechter took on b5. So queen takes b4 in which moment? So b4, okay, b4 was not necessary, but Schlechter played and Lasker reacted with very sharp b5. So c takes b5. Okay, we considered queen c2, queen d4. Oh, of course, white can also here to play something like g3 or h4. So I don't think that black has advantage at the moment, but okay. Without concrete play, black has some pressure. If they will manage to exchange queens, probably a3 pawn can be weak somehow. So a game became sharper. So c takes 8, takes g3. Okay, I explained that h4 was idea to stop g3, to stop g5, and just hold the position. Then g3 is coming, so because black cannot exchange queens nearest future, so I don't think that black can pretend for advantage here. But g3 played, g5, so he fixed it, king g2, rook e8. Okay, again, not clear for me, so I'm thinking if I would black here, I would play g6, because somewhere my queen can go to a1 or to e4 with check, so it's better to have pawn g7 protected. So from this reason, g6 looks like very logical move. But okay, there is disadvantage of g6 that after g6 black has no idea rook e6 and rook h6. So probably also this was possible to consider. This idea to prepare rook h6. Okay, so rook e8 he played. Not so obvious move because now f7 pawn is not protected, but okay, after rook f3 just f6. So probably he's planning to play rook a8 somewhere, but queen d1. So f7 is not protected anymore, so white is playing. Also a4 is prepared. And queen b3 or queen h5, so I like this creative move and not so obvious one. Queen a2, yes, queen a2, yes, was possible, but after queen a2 probably queen e6 was planned. Because exchange of queens, it's good for black. But okay, it's not clear. Queen a1 white can play. If f6, a4. If queen e5, okay, draw. Yes, queen a2 was possible. Okay, maybe also possible after rook e8, maybe also possible to play this double attack. Why not? Rook a8, queen takes f7, king b6. Maybe possible, but it's unclear. What is this? Queen a2. Queen d4 probably. Oh, sharp position. Both has his trumps. Okay, but maybe rook a8 is the best. Okay, let's see what happens. So queen d1 played Schlechter, flexible move, f6, queen b3. Oh, now already a4 is possible. I don't know why Schlechter didn't play this. It looks like very logical to play against black king. I don't see special problem. But okay, black can just take and probably play queen d4 with idea to prepare queen b6. So positions far from clear. But Schlechter still waiting. Queen b3, queen e6, queen d1 back, rook h8, g4. Queen c4 played Lasker. Again, very logical looks to play rook a8 to stop a4. And only then try to do something. Big question what really black can do. But also white need to make some moves. Okay, probably queen d2, for example. White can just hold the position and and to look what black will do, because not so easy to improve. But okay, now queen c4 is possible to prepare rook e8, something like this. Because black has advantage if they will manage to exchange queens, will be better position. But okay, I can try play f3 to prepare rook d3. But after f3, white king will be weaker. So not so easy. So rook a8 was very logical choice. Stop a4 and then prepare queen c4. But Lasker played queen c4 immediately. Of course, white can still defend passively this position. But rook e8 is coming and then. So Schlechter decided to play a4. Sharp try. Now it's totally different. So white is ready to give the pawn and organize attack. Black has choice and now time to calculate with concrete variations. Queen takes b4 took Lasker. Okay, maybe this was possible and rook b8, queen a5, rook b6. So possible. Check. Queen a5 if white agreed to draw. Black wants to play for a win. Okay, probably king d7. Something like this. Opening it was Spanish Steinitz variation. It's question how big is winning chances for black, for example, queen h7. If queen f7, white has rook a3 or rook c3. If king f7, queen h5 check. Looks like draw. So this position looks like pretty drawish. If rook b6, okay, king c8, queen c8 instead of queen h7, queen c8. Also possible. Yes, queen c8. It's good as well. Okay, but Lasker took, so now he's extra pawn. But after queen h7, king f8, okay, just check. What's my idea? If queen g8 takes, rook c3, or rook d3. Everywhere. Okay, now it's pawn up for Lasker, but he's king in some danger. So Schlechter trying to organize attack. So rook b3, queen a6, passive moves. It's big question why Lasker played this. So queen c4 looks more natural. Of course, queen a4 is forbidden because rook b7. But queen c4 looks like natural move, and now e4 pawn is hanging, so queen b1 is the most logical choice with threat rook b7 check, and now queen a6. In game, queen went to d4, so from b1, okay, probably e5 is possible, and then queen g6. Strong contraplay. So probably this. Afraid. Emmanuel Lasker. So he played queen a6 and queen d4. Schlechter. Looks like pleasant situation for black because white has no real threats. So only black needs to improve his rook, coordinate pieces. So queen f3 looks like normal move to prepare queen f5 or rook a3. Prefer white? Okay, probably it's matter of taste, but okay, maybe white can anyway prepare e5 very sharp to give another pawn and to play something like queen c2 now and then queen g6. But okay, it's already 2 pawns down. But practically not so easy to play for black as well with such a king. But okay, 2 pawns. For example, here queen c4 is possible. Okay, so queen d4, nothing concrete. Rook e8 played Lasker, very natural. Also rook d8 was possible to protect. Or rook a8. It's difficult to say what is better for black. So he played. Why not queen f3 instead of queen c2? Queen f3. Queen f3. Queen f3 maybe. I was thinking about queen c4. Also maybe rook d8. But after rook d8, yes, queen f7 and queen f8 is possible. But now queen c8. Yes, probably this is good defense for black. So queen f3, rook d8 is my proposition. Okay, still sharp. White can play queen f5, simply take then on g5. It's practically still not easy to play for black in this position because king, okay, but queen c4 maybe. Okay, but what Schlechter played? Queen d4. Maybe, but both need to place very precise. It's maybe it's drawish if both play good, but now it's not obvious where black should put his rooks. Rook e8 played Lasker, but maybe rook a8 or rook d8. So there are reasonable alternatives. But okay, rook e8 is normal. Now e5 is stopped, pawn e4 is attacked. So why not? So queen b4 is possible. No special threats. Rook b1 played Schlechter. Rook b8. Okay, rook b8, it's strange to give the pawn, and it's even not draw because white will take on b8 and then take on d6 and then take, no, okay, rook b8. Strange idea to give some pawns and okay, it's not even drawn. Okay, maybe king a7. Okay, so But now it is white who is playing for win e5, for example. So why black should give the pawn and then suffer. Okay, what did Lasker? Very logical. So rook e8, very logical move. Rook b1 played Schlechter. So we see that he's playing without threats, but probably psychologically it's quite unpleasant for opponent. If there are no concrete threats and not so clear what to do in this position. So black has choice. Even king d7, for example, is option. If rook a1, rook takes e4. That's my idea. And I'm ready to transfer my king somewhere to e7. Also, if rook b6, rook takes e4. If rook d1, rook e6. So black has choice, but okay, Lasker played rook e5, queen b4. Okay, nothing wrong. Queen b5 played. Lasker. In each move, black has choice. So even here, many possibilities. For example, even king d7. It's not so stupid idea to go with king far from queen's flank. If queen b8, rook b5, it's possible. So I mean, this endgame, I don't know also who will take. White will play queen g8 and queen takes g7, but I hope that black has better chances. And for example, take with pawn, this, play this, and king c6, something like this. So b5 pawn can be strong. If h4, queen e5 is possible. Okay, probably it's draw, because queen g8 and then white has many checks. But okay, so rook b5 is possible. After rook b5, queen c4, of course. However, and then queen f7, it's not so pleasant. So rook b5, not so promising. King d7 is possible. Queen a7 is totally possible. Just to protect important squares. But not so easy to play for black too. So he played queen b5. Now only move queen e1. Of course, white cannot exchange queens. So such a position. Again, black has choice. Queen a5 looks like very good to see where queen will go and to prepare rook b5. If, yes, why not? If queen d1, I can take the pawn. If queen goes to e2 or e3, I can play rook b5. So I think objectively black has better chances in this position. But Lasker played queen d3, also possible, rook b4, c5. c5, it's not certainly not necessary. I don't know is it the best or not. Again, black has choice. So difficult for black to play for black in this position because they have big choice in each move. And there are no real threats for white. So, for example, rook b5, totally possible. Rook a4, and now black can consider several moves. For example, king d7, why not? If check, king e6. If takes, rook b1. this position looks like very bad for white. Immediately rook b1, okay, maybe also possible, but I wasn't totally sure. Queen a5 check and then queen f5 check, so it's less clear for me. So my proposition is king d7, so why not? So in my opinion, king is safer on e6 than on c7. So okay, rook a7 and rook takes g7, it's too primitive, but what else white can do? Queen a1? But anyway, king e6, why not? Because if check, queen b3, it's possible. Rook d4 now. Maybe rook d4. With idea queen a8, so not so easy. Okay, queen a1. But okay, black can just play rook b7, for example. Let's try to consolidate. If rook d4, rook a5. Rook a5. Yes, it's also possible. If queen b2. Rook d4, rook b1. Rook b1, queen a2, queen b3, and queen a8. It's unpleasant somehow. Queen e8 is mate. Okay, king e5 probably. It looks like strange, but who knows. Rook a4 somehow. Okay, it's strange position. But anyway, he played c5, c5, it's... King h2 after king d7. Which moment? After king d7, king h2. What is point of king h2? Okay, maybe, but after king h2, pawn f2 will be weaker. Black can try rook b2. Okay, also possible to play rook a5, nothing wrong. To prepare rook a3. Why not rook a5? Big question. Now rook a3 is very concrete threat. I like rook a5. No, okay, rook d4, queen's endgame. It's black has excellent winning chances. King d7 or king b7. Okay, king d7, for example. Healthy pawn up. Okay, nobody can guarantee that black... Okay, queen f5, king e7, and what? So queen h7. And with this, queen h5. Okay, so queen takes a5. I want to check if black has possibility to defend all pawns comfortably. maybe not so easy. Okay, king b7 is possible. Queen f5. Black can simply play this. Check king b6. Okay, but at least black is playing without any risk, and they have good winning chances after rook a5. If rook d4 is only move, but I don't see alternative because rook a3 is very strong threat. So I don't see any other move for white. So rook d4 looks like only move, and this queen's endgame with excellent winning chances for black. But okay, Lasker played c5. It's strange move because he's playing from his king, so he must be careful. But okay, he played this rook a4 and he played c4. Okay. Another move from king. So still, position looks like good for black, but okay, by intuition, black should play king d7 as soon as possible. Probably black still good because king goes to e6 or to e8, depends. Okay, after rook a7, maybe even king e8 is good enough because e4 pawn is hanging with check. But king e6 is also possible. Okay, king e6, maybe f3, okay, but even d5 is necessary to consider. I don't know if it works. Maybe it works because if queen a5 and queen b6, black has queen d6. So king d7, maybe still good position. What else? Queen has no moves because rook takes e4 and then king e6. So still this position looks like promising for black, but he played c4 and now queen a1. So Schlechter is given another pawn. Okay, it doesn't look like that white is playing for win, but position looks like better for black, and white is trying to survive. But black also needs to play carefully. Check king h2. So now not so easy to play king d7, king e6 because white has contraplay. Check and queen a4. Queen e8 is threat somehow. But at least black always has draw. Queen if they want. Queen f4 check and queen e4. White cannot play for a win. So if black wants, they always can make draw in this position. So I am sure if queen f4, I don't think that Schlechter wanted to play king g1, but who knows? Maybe he wanted and play for a win, but how it's possible to play for a win because this, and this. And if queen goes somewhere, rook e1 check, and then queen e4 check. So probably he planned to play king g2 and then to see what opponent will do. For example, after rook e2, rook a7. It's not so clear. Okay, but what played Schlechter? Rook b5. Lasker played rook b5, so he wants to play rook b1 or some, or he wants to play rook b7 after rook a7. Queen a2. So I'm trying to understand. So he wants to block diagonal because, for example, if rook here, rook b7, queen a5, black can play with his king, but it's question where. I mean, because rook is protected by queen. But anyway, not clear where king, because if king d7, queen b5 check, okay, maybe it's possible, I don't know. Not easy position for analyze, but we can try to do it. Check, king c7, check. So king d7, queen d8 check, king c6 only move because after king e6 is possible. If queen e8, king d5, rook a5, king d4, and no more checks. Okay, this is complicated variation, but probably it works. Queen g8, however, it's unpleasant. White at least has draw. So probably rook a7 was totally okay. If black wants to draw, probably they can play king c7 and go back if they agree to draw. So white cannot play for a win at all. So looks like Lasker still playing for a win. So queen e5, king g1, this, and now queen f5 check. In which moment queen f5 check? After king d7, queen f5, just take. Rook b7, king c6, or king c8, and black is winning. So still black can force draw, of course, if they want, but Lasker is playing for win. So draw is no problem. Queen e5 for black. After d5, rook a8. Still black. Now black has no draw because white has f3. Idea, but big question if f3 it's dangerous. So it looks like not dangerous. So, for example, if black wants to draw, to have draw, so this f3, it's hardly good idea because simply queen d4 is possible. Rook b2 is coming, so white is losing. So for white is better just play king h2 and wait. Queen d4 is possible, but not so easy. Queen b4, strange move, because now black has no checks anymore. But okay, he protected. King g2, simply wait and move. So king g2, it's easy to explain because queen a6 he wants to play, but at the moment, check, black is winning. So king g2, wait and move, and now queen a6 is prepared. And suddenly Not so easy to understand what black should do. Queen a6 is quite unpleasant threat. And okay, maybe black can come back to drawish ideas, but queen a7 also white has idea. If queen b1, queen a7 is unpleasant. So queen c5 played and queen a6. Now it's big trouble. Okay, c3 was possible, but again queen a6 or queen a after king g2 c3. Again queen a6 or queen a7. Queen a6, very likely. But now queen e4. Yes, and black at least has draw. So c3. If queen a7, rook b7, yes. Yes, why not c3? Very logical move. Queen a6, rook b7. Oh, also interesting idea. Because queen e6, queen e4 check, yes. Yes, why not? So black can also start with rook b7 probably. With same idea. If queen a6 to play c3. If rook g8, maybe king b6, possible. Yes, c3 is very good. Probably. Not so easy to understand what white should do. So queen a6, just rook b7. Now probably rook g8 is option for white. Queen e4 check. And now queen e7, queen a5 is my idea, and take on c3. Well, okay, it's problem, but problem to win, so black is not losing. But maybe nothing more than draw. But okay, he played queen c5 after queen a6. So queen c5 was total collapse, looks like. Now he has no checks, and now... So queen c5 looks like big blunder for black. Yes, and now he lost. So he played this and resigned it because there is simply mate. Okay, so interesting game, quite unexpected result, not totally logical because in final stage black has winning chances, and but okay, everybody mistakes, and Lasker lost. And in game 6, now game 6, Lasker play again rook b8. c3. So in previous game we have seen bishop e7 line. Now bishop c5 played Schlechter. Knight c5, knight c5, bishop c2. Maybe possible, but looks like more pleasant for white. So bishop c5. Also in normal position without. Aha, queen b6. It was bad now. Aha, queen b6. Okay, we can consider this. So queen b6. Aha, check. Rook a6. This king c5. Well, white has some technical difficulties, but it's excellent winning chances. Queen a6. I think white should win this objectively, but okay, maybe it's not so easy. Okay, let's come back to this. So bishop e7 we have seen, and here my recommendation was knight d4. So in next game, bishop c5 played Lasker. So same positions possible to see without a4 rook b8, and now knight bd2 is natural, but also possible to play queen d3 and knight bd2. There is theoretical line from different move order. This, and rook a6 now is strong move. It's theory, but usually we have this position from move order d takes and c3, bishop c5, queen d3, castle, knight bd2, f5, this, a4, rook b8. Rook b8 is not only move, but okay, rook b8. Now rook a6. Rook a6 is stronger than knight g. If knight g5, knight e5, and black has enough contraplay. If queen g3, queen d6. So rook a6 is promising move, and white is bad. Okay, so now we have seen bishop c5. Also now knight d4 is question, but with bishop on c5, I don't know how convincing this, because if f pawn is coming, bishop c5 is better. So if bishop f4, now black has more space for his queen. So for example, this queen f6 is possible to consider. But still unclear. So bishop e3 simply. Rook is hanging, d5 pawn is hanging. So maybe white is good. But also maybe queen h4 is possible. If g3, knight takes f2, necessary to check. So now knight d4 is much more complicated than with bishop on e7. So knight bd2 played Lasker, very natural choice. Castle, bishop c2, and in this position. Without a4 rook b8, main move for black is bishop f5. Also knight takes f2 is possibility. Quite popular now in Zen f6. But okay, now we have different position. Schlechter took on d4. On d2. Queen takes d2. If I prepare, okay, I can play both. So both are playable. So it's difficult. I have no real preference. But if now bishop takes d2, probably black has d4. And probably this is good position for black. I don't know. So it's question if white has something better here. So queen, okay, queen d3 is possible. What else? Okay, knight bd2, normal move. Castle, bishop c2. So if bishop takes d2, d4 is quite reasonable question. I don't see tactical refutation. Positionally, black is okay. If knight g5, d3 is coming. So Schlechter, Lasker took with queen. Now d4 is possible as well, but now knight g5. So black has no d3. This is the problem. So now it's not so convincing. So queen takes d4. Because of this, looks like stronger than queen takes d2 looks like stronger than bishop takes d2 because idea is not allow d4. But okay, maybe white has some active possibilities even here. I don't know. Bishop e4, I'm considering. But okay, after bishop e4, even d takes c3 is possible. So it's now rook is not hanging. White has no idea. Bishop takes c6 and bishop takes e8. Also, bishop d5 is standard reaction in such type of position. d4 over bishop g4. You mean here? Bishop g4 here. Bishop g4 also possible. Yes, it's very standard move for open variation. So probably white should play bishop f4 now, something like this. Yes, but for rook e8, rook e1, okay, but okay, bishop g4 is also possible, but d4 is more concrete because at the moment d3 it's a threat. Okay, maybe bishop e4, bishop d5, queen c2, something like this is possible. I'm not sure if white has advantage here, but who knows? And what black should play? D takes c3, maybe simply. Bishop g5, now bishop g5. Instead, in which moment bishop? Now bishop g5 or after bishop e4, bishop d5. But after bishop e4, also d takes c3 is necessary to consider. If now bishop g5, queen d5 simply. Okay, maybe it's not so simple. Something like this is possible. If bishop f5, queen d2 is my idea, and queen h6. But okay, d takes c3. If queen takes c3, b4 is coming, so queen must go to e1 and maybe knight d4. So probably black has enough contraplay. Okay, it's complicated. So queen takes d2, now d4, knight g5 is problem. So if play bishop f5, knight b3. Knight g5 in which moment? Here knight g5 d3. Instead of queen d3. So, no, bishop. We are considering bishop g5, queen d5, queen d3. Now knight g5 is not possible because bishop on g5. Okay, so Karl Schlechter didn't play d4, so he played queen d7. Standard move also in open Spanish. No, what is this? No, b4 played Lasker. Certainly it is not only move in this position. Oh, queen d3 looks like normal, and bishop g5 idea to have bishop on f6. But the question how strong it is. For example, bishop f5, queen e2, takes, rook e8 simply. If bishop f6, bishop e7. It looks like black has enough resources for contraplay. So maybe bishop c5 was improvement, because after bishop e7, knight d4 is unpleasant. After bishop c5, black has more resources to have contraplay. Queen d7, I like this move. Flexible move. Somewhere bishop f5 is possible. Okay, not immediately. Knight g5 is possible to consider because... but if knight g5, probably bishop f5 is a good option for black, because if bishop takes, queen takes d5, black has knight takes e5. And now everything is good for black. Obviously white cannot take because knight f3 checks. So bishop f5 is good move here. If queen f4, f6 is option. If you have queen on f4, always important to use about f6. I forget about this in my game and lost against young American online. So, in some moment, black is ready to play d4. So maybe objectively the best choice for white to play this, and bishop e3 exchange these bishops and fight for d4 square. Or even rook d1 is possible to stop d4. But rook d1 is possible also immediately. In this position, rook d1 is also logical idea. To prepare queen d3 and bishop e3, or okay, depends what black will play. If rook f e8, there is no f6 anymore, so white can change plan and play queen f4. But question how strong it is, because black has bishop g4, and there is contraplay against e5 pawns. So probably white should play anyway something else, maybe queen g5. Okay, but so more direct play queen d3 and then bishop e3. My idea to exchange bishops. Uh, Knight d4 here, knight d4. If we take, rook d1, bishop f5. No, bishop f5 is a risky line for black because I can take. Looks like. Oh, of course, not take immediately. Okay, take is possible, and to play knight d4 is also possible, but this is mistake. Knight takes e5. Yes, but after now white has pawn up. Okay, you can take and take on f2, and but this position, okay, probably it's drawish, but black is suffering somehow after rook c5. So bishop e4 losing the piece because knight g5. Okay, maybe not losing the piece because f5 is possible, but so rook b6 is serious, but certainly not pleasant for black. So my proposition is so b4 is possible, but after b4 white has weakness c3 pawn. But okay, probably it's concrete idea. We will consider this. But queen d3 is more natural, and then bishop e3. So idea, if bishop takes, I will take with queen. Bishop f5. Because this black can take, and if bishop takes f5, bishop takes f2 is intermediate move. White losing the pawn. If rook f2, queen f5, knight d4, queen d7, or knight takes d4. So it's not easy. So probably this is totally playable position after bishop c5. At least I don't see clear way how white can fight for advantage here. Okay, maybe possible to play this to prepare knight bd2. So g5 is risky because this type of positions usually unpleasant for black because they have problem with his king. But maybe castle, knight bd2, takes, and d4 is possible. But okay, bishop c2, for example. Now white has active bishop. Knight g5 or queen d3 they want, or rook d1. This is interesting idea for white. If d takes c3, queen takes c3, black has some problem with c line, with their pieces. So maybe bishop f4 is interesting line. Hello. So g5 is risky, so castle is the most logical, and now knight bd2. I don't know what is the best for white, and also I don't know what is theory in this position. After this. Now bishop f4. So I remember Korchnoi against Petrosyan played bishop b6 after knight bd2, knight c5, something like this. So something like this was played between Petrosyan and Korchnoi. But I'm not sure if somebody can check this game. So bishop f4 is interesting line, and Korchnoi in his annotation explained that this is bad idea for black at all. Play this. But okay, we have same with a4 of b8, so c3. Okay, instead of c3, white has other options, so it's possible to check bishop e3, for example. It's totally possible. Or maybe queen e2 as well. But okay, c3 is not, or knight bd2, of course. It's option. Why not? But okay, c3, and now after bishop e7, knight d4 is strong, as I explained. So bishop c5 is stronger than bishop e7, in my opinion, at least. Knight bd2, cos. Now maybe also possible queen e2. At least this is interesting idea, because with bishop on b3, not so easy. It's well organized that, okay, I will play and then I will answer, in my opinion. Maybe queen e2 is possible as well, but bishop on b3 is not protected. So, but anyway, knight takes e4 is threat. D takes e4, queen takes e4, and then take on c6. But black can play. Okay, if black play this, white cannot realize this idea, because after bishop d5, their queen is trapped. So white is losing. After queen takes b5, bishop f2, but well, after bishop b6, I can play bishop c2. It's quite comfortable position. So queen e2 looks like more useful move than bishop b6. So queen e2 maybe it's. But bishop f5 is possible. Now bishop c2, knight takes c3. The problem for white, and not so easy to understand what to do with knight on e4. Rook a6 is possible, but very far from convincing. Black can answer even. So looks like a logical conception from Schlechter with bishop c5. I don't see how white can refute it. Okay, so Lasker played natural, and queen d7 is solid and good move. Okay, there is a creative idea. This bishop e3 after bishop f5. This white has only two pieces for the queen, but but black has bad pawn structure. For example, rook e8, rook f e1, simply just to defend e5 pawn and play this position. If b4, bishop a4, always. So if, for example, queen e6, okay, white can play some. Rook a6 is possible even. Now rook e6 is unpleasant. Okay, or just if not rook a6. C3, bishop e7 he played, not bishop c5. So it's a different position. Bishop e7 he played. But what is theory after bishop c5, bishop f4? It must be some theory as well. Okay, maybe just castle. Okay, so now it's interesting position. So queen takes f5 is interesting. So who is better here? Maybe I don't know. But it looks like, from practical reason, looks like quite promising for white because black has many weaknesses. Objectively, very difficult to say who is better. Okay, I can explore rook a6 is possible, but okay, even this is possible. So, and white has planned rook a3, rook f3. So, so it's interesting. But okay, it was question about bishop f4. D5, d takes. So bishop f4. Okay, probably black should just play castle and now something like queen e7 maybe, for example. I'm not sure that queen e7 is the best. Maybe something else, but what else? Quite fresh position. Okay, maybe knight takes d2 and d4 also necessary to check. Not so popular, maybe not so stupid as well. Maybe this. But I don't know how strong it is. Rook a d1, for example, even possible. So it's necessary to investigate more deep level. Okay, so we are here. So we are considering ideas. So after c3, bishop c5, knight bd2. Okay, g5 is risky. It's possible, but risky. Okay, queen d3, it's yes. Queen, with it's okay. So after queen d7, still my proposition to play queen d3. And after g6, bishop e3, and with idea to sacrifice queen. But okay, of course, this decision is very far from obvious, and evaluation of this position. Computer probably will tell that black is much better here. But in practical game, maybe more easy to play with white. Draw. Okay, maybe draw. But why draw? Rook a8, yes, but I can play just rook d1. Rook a3, probably, however. For example, this, maybe. I'm not sure. Rook a8. Okay, maybe something else. I need to think. Yes, maybe rook a8. Or just white can play just rook b1. Or rook d1 and rook a2, rook b1. To provoke rook on a2 with idea to have bishop b3 in future. Don't know. Very complicated. I don't know. Okay, maybe black is better, but knight a5, knight d4 is unpleasant. And then bishop f5. Okay, but so Lasker played b4. Schlechter played bishop e7. Not so clear. Maybe bishop b6 was totally possible. Queen b5 is pawn b5 is protected indirectly. But okay, now it's white has ideas. This so this queen d2. So with bishop on c5, black has idea to play bishop e7 or bishop f8 if they necessary. But now white has bishop f6 with mating threats. Probably white is just winning here. Yes, it looks like white is just winning. Knight e7 only move, which not losing immediately, but this is very, very dangerous for black. So now we can see reason of b4. So idea to occupy f6. Okay, maybe after bishop g5, black can defend more accurately, but anyway, bishop f6, queen d2, queen h6. It's unpleasant. Knight e7, knight h4. Yes. Yes. Very likely it's winning. So bishop e7 looks like forced. No. Rook e1 play. Lasker. So plan for black is clear as well. So to play f6 and then try to utilize weakness of c3 pawn. But I have question. So he played rook e1. Knight d4 is also possible. Looks like logical now. Immediately attack. Knight takes e5, f4, knight c4, however. And maybe white attack is not so strong suddenly. Because if queen d3, f5, and bishop is ready to go to f7. So white cannot win the piece. If queen e1, queen e2, simply queen d6 is possible to prepare bishop d7. So not rook e1 played. Lasker, logical f6. Also logical. Natural moves. Now it takes f6. Not so obvious for me. f5, queen d6, just a moment. f5 and bishop f4. F5 and bishop f4. Okay, but it's question if white has advantage here. Bishop c7 or bishop takes c7, rook c8, and then bishop takes b4 coming. So probably black is totally fine here. g4, h6. And what? After g4, maybe bishop takes b4 was possible as well, because g5, queen b6. So knight d4 is not so convincing. So queen d3, bishop h6. It's possible, but rook e8. And black is ready to push f6. And black has contraplay. Okay, I don't know if possible to consider this. Is it serious or not? My idea is this, and knight d4. If this, queen g3, something like this, but I'm not sure if it works, but okay. As Viktor Lvovich explained it, we are on analyze. Maybe it's incorrect objectively. King h8 is possible. But okay, white has at least good practical chances. So bishop takes g6 is threat. So bishop f7 is bad because e6 and bishop takes g6. So black should play king h8 or f5, but in both, so if f5 my plan to play h4 and then h5 is good positional compensation. Knight on d4 is strong. So if king h8 is the same, h4 probably, or maybe rook e1. Okay. Yes, I always trying to choose something interesting for my spectators, also for myself as well. So okay, but this is quite artificial idea, and rook a6, and to prepare sacrifice of exchange. But black can also play bishop f5 firstly. After queen d2 takes, and f6, and probably black is totally okay here, because after exchange of pawns, white will have problem with c3 pawn. So rook e1, f6, bishop h6. E takes f6. Bishop f4, frankly speaking, looks like more natural for me. Not help black to develop bishop to f6. So for white is better to have his bishop. Maybe even bishop takes e5 is possible, because if black taken, knight takes e5 and knight takes g6. There is tactical idea. But okay, if bishop takes, probably bishop f5. So my idea is to take with knight, but okay, if I have any achievement, probably it's just equal position. Black plays such a primitive way, so this is it. Not so easy to play for advantage for white. Okay, maybe queen d3 start and now bishop f4. idea to prepare rook a d1 as soon as possible, but still, I'm not sure that this is advantage after f6. Japanese chess only once, but you mean Sergey or what? Only once, but in some moment I didn't understand where is mine pieces and where is pieces of my opponent, so I stopped to play this game with my friend from Sweden, Emil Hermansson. So let's follow game. So took on f6, bishop takes f6, bishop b3. So if white wants to play bishop b3, there is idea. There is question why not play bishop b3 immediately, but probably black can just take, and if takes, just c6 and b. Yes, but he is from Sweden. Unfortunately, he doesn't play chess anymore, but he lives in Sweden. In Eslöv. G6, okay, G6, black needs to defend. Okay, somewhere white can probably give exchange. For example, something like this. Try to utilize G7 square, but okay, so I'm not sure that this is correct. Bishop f5 is coming, probably. Threats of white is not so serious because bishop on b3 is a little bit out of play. But maybe it was logical to play in. So he played rook e1. So yes, I'm trying how to play it. This position. Okay, maybe try to play in prophylactic style. For example, to play queen d3 after g6 to play bishop b3 immediately. So my idea if f6. Okay, and now I have choice. I can play even bishop f4. So also I have idea to play rook d1 now. So probably this is logical idea to try weakness of diagonal after f6. So probably bishop b3 can be good prophylactic move. Also this knight g5 can be idea. How convincing this it's another question, but okay, for example, queen g3 and then bishop f4 is coming, or just queen d1 to guarantee to bishop's advantage at c6. Okay, maybe I just so bishop b3. It's interesting if black strongly want to play f6. It's regroup pieces, immediately put bishop on b3, and okay, after f6 at least bishop f4. If I'm lazy to calculate concrete variation, I can play bishop f4, and so I want to have rook on d1, not on e1. Rook d1, rook f d8, bishop f4. If okay, Rook f d8. Okay, now bishop f4. I like my position. Of course, with rook f d8 already, black king is weaker than before. So probably bishop b3 was correct prophylactic move against f6. If black has no another plan, but for black is difficult. Maybe d4 now also is possible. But d4 bishop takes e6. If queen takes e6, knight takes d4, and white wins the pawn. Although black has compensations. So here, if queen takes d4, rook d8, black has excellent chances for draw. So probably d4 is possible, like option. But okay, so Lasker played bishop a6. And now also bishop b3. It's interesting. Because now d4, bishop takes this e6 and knight takes d4. But white has problem. Now this line doesn't work because suddenly g5 is coming and white losing the bishop. No, this. So knight takes d4 doesn't work at all. Okay, so probably bishop b3 was the best idea, but it's not an easy decision, of course. I'm thinking about other possibility. Maybe a rook d1 it's possible to consider. Yes, knight d4 in city, but with bishop h6 also g5. It's possible idea. Without bishop takes a6, black can take on b4. Also possible rook d1, and if f6, bishop b3. Try this, also possible. Or firstly queen d3 to provoke g6, and now bishop b3 to prevent rook bd8. White is attacking d5 pawn. Maybe black has contraplay, but knight e5. Knight e5, and I have problem. Yes, you are right. Now knight takes e5 is strong. So this idea doesn't work. So b4, bishop e7. What about now? If I played rook d1, so if I realize here, now f2 is protected. So f6, queen d3, g6, and bishop b3. But endgame can be this. Yes, some endgame, this. Slightly better for white, but looks like drawish. Yes. King f1, king e2, but okay. I agree that this is drawish. But okay, let's see what Emmanuel Lasker played. He takes rook d8 after bishop takes d5. So in this line, rook d1. So rook d1, f6, queen d3, g6, bishop b3, rook d8 was proposition. Okay, also possible. Yes, black is fine here. I agree. So white should take, and only black probably can be better. Okay, maybe not, because bishop e3 is coming. Okay, approximately equal position, because bishop e3 is coming. Okay, let's see what Lasker played. Also rook a6 and rook takes c6 and knight d4. This idea I explained it already, but queen. So this idea I already explained it. Rook c6, knight d4, queen d3, and queen g3. But we have seen this position with bishop h6. With bishop h6, rook f e8, probably better to have this position with bishop h6 and rook e8, because now, but even now white has compensation. But okay, it's not easy to play this. Promising, but risky somehow. Move 16 h4. Here h4, but f6. What is idea? Maybe not early, but what is idea? It's unclear for me. Okay, white has many ideas. For example, rook e1, f6. It's possible to consider just take and to play knight g5, for example. Bishop f5, more or less forced. Okay, bishop takes g5, queen takes g5. It's better for black. Yes, bishop f5. And now my idea was bishop b3. Question how convincing this black can simply play king h8 probably. If bishop takes d5, rook b d8. It's very far from convincing. Okay, so very complicated position and big choice. So mm, quite difficult to play this for both, especially for white, because for black is more or less clear what they need to do. For white, there is big choice in each move. For example, queen d3, g6, yes, bishop f4 and rook a d1, for example. It's totally logical idea. Why not? Only question if there is advantage or equality. Probably not advantage, because bishop f5, bishop takes c2, this, rook e8 and c6. It looks like equal position. Okay, but what played Emanuel Lasker? So before bishop e7, rook e1, f6. Hello. So e takes f6, a little bit strange, because now black bishop in active position, but okay, bishop b3. So Lasker wants to attack d5 pawn. So rook takes e6 is prepared. Bishop f7. clear. So he avoid rook takes e6. Rook a d1 played Lasker. Okay, but I'm not sure that rook a d1. It's natural move, but I'm not sure that this is the best because it looks like black wants to play knight e5, so probably white can try to prevent. Yes, maybe h3, maybe bishop f4 as well. And bishop f4, d4 also, I'm not so sure because... so probably also d4 is idea. After h3, okay, maybe h3 is possible. And now d4, bishop takes f7. Queen takes f7, okay, king takes f7, it's risky. And knight takes d4, okay, maybe. Or just rook takes e8 is possible. Yes, because if rook takes, queen takes b5, so h3, it's logical. Yes. If rook takes, rook a6, okay, about rook a6, I'm not sure, because queen d5. No, but if rook takes, queen takes b5 is strong. If queen takes, okay, and now maybe rook a6, maybe. Yes, this may be rook a6 is possible. If d takes c3, so h3, uh, because what is difference? Because now after knight e5, if same like in the game, probably this is very strong. And very important that white has h3. So with pawn on h2, this idea doesn't work because white king has no h2 square. But now probably white is just winning because if rook e8, f4, so if rook e1, king h2 without taking, so this is... White wins. If queen try to defend, also f4. And again, it's important that white has king h2. So after h3, yes, black cannot play, but black can play knight e5 and take with rook probably. So bishop takes e5 is obvious mistake, but rook takes e5 is possible and probably not so special for white. But okay, bishop f4, d4, is it really strong? But why it is so strong? I can just take on f7 and who will take? King will take, but maybe, but not so obvious. If queen takes, rook takes e8. Okay, so we are considering h3, knight e5, queen f3. Sorry, knight e5, queen f3, then queen f3, rook f5 probably. Probably nothing special for white. Black can defend this position. Also, white is slightly better. Even white can simply take and play bishop e3 to prepare bishop d4. But nothing special. Or immediately in this position, bishop e3 to prepare bishop d4. So it's possible plan, of course. What? Schlechter. Lasker played this, and now Schlechter took with bishop. So the problem that now rook takes e5 is not so convincing, because queen e7 or queen e6, and if now f4, rook e1 check, and white is just losing. So queen h4 is possible, or this, and this is possible. So it's not the same. If white is not playing f4 immediately, black has time to play queen f6. For example, after h3, queen f6 is possible. Bishop e3 instead of h3. Bishop e3 here. Logical move, I agree. Yes, so white is stopped at d4. So knight e5, knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, bishop d4, something like this. Or bishop a7, maybe. No, okay, bishop d4 is more natural. Yeah. Yes, white is slightly better, but okay, queen d6, totally. Black can defend this. Yeah, bishop e3. Yes, h3 is but h3 d4 necessary to calculate. It's promising for white, but not so easy. So in the game, this position easy to, I don't know, it's easy. Okay, white is slightly better, but you mean bishop e3. So bishop e3 is kind of position. But okay, so if this is so easy, okay, for example, I play c6. If this is so easy, because bishop on b3, it's still passive. Okay, you can go somewhere, bishop d1, bishop f3, but it's required time. So h3, bishop f4, so white has always choice. Also, I'm thinking, what about this? This very concrete play, just take, why not? So it was game, right? So, Lasker played rook a d1, but yes, so rook takes e8, queen takes b5, my proposition. So bishop takes c3 is forced, rook c1. What is this? d4, my idea is just take. And you need to take with king, and now knight g5 is pretty unpleasant. Maybe already losing for black, or at least very dangerous. Okay, king e7 only move, but it doesn't look like pleasant for black, surely. So very forcing line. So queen d3, g6, bishop h6, played Lasker. Okay, maybe rook f7 was possible. So rook f7 maybe was possible here, but Schlechter played rook e8, so take, but rook f7. Maybe anyway, bishop b3, if black takes everything, rook a e1 is coming. So. But maybe bishop f5 and bishop f6 is coming. Queen e3 also. The bishop f6 is stopped. If bishop f8, even rook e8 is possible. So rook e8, it was game. So this, bishop b3, bishop f7, rook a d1. So why not? Why he didn't take? So queen cannot take because bishop takes d5. Or maybe knight takes b4. Maybe queen can take. But anyway, okay, maybe it's possible. Yes, bishop takes d5. Oh, yes, but now rook a6, yes, or rook d1, simply it's possible. Yes, rook a6 looks like at least dangerous for black. But rook a6, maybe knight e5. Knight takes e5, queen takes e5. Or just rook e1 is possible. Okay, so maybe black is not losing, but very promising position. There is proposition, I see rook a6. If knight e5 takes on e5, if queen takes e5, g3, yes. Bishop f4 is coming. Why not? You are right. But bishop takes d5. So, yes. So if rook takes, queen takes b5, well, looks like very strong. Yes. So, yeah. I don't see anything good for black here. Bishop c, no, if rook b8 now. If queen d3, knight takes b4. Okay, rook b8. Maybe. Queen a4, queen a6. It's not so obvious for me where queen is better. Okay, queen a4, bishop takes c3, b5 or what? Okay, we can check. Okay, but knight e5, and suddenly white position is not so strong. But maybe rook c1 I can play. Rook takes b4, looks like forced. D4. No, d4, bishop takes f7. Queen a8, rook b8. So d4 is not possible because of this motif. And white is winning. So rook takes b4 is forced. My idea was to... sorry, I can just take. Very simple. And I'm winning. So rook takes a4 is only move. Bishop takes a4 and black cannot use... yes. Queen f5 I just take on c6 because queen b1 is not made. Rook c1 is possible. So queen f5 doesn't help. I just simply take. So queen a4, yes, correct idea. And black cannot take pawn back. So here looks like Lasker missed excellent chance. After rook takes e8, black should take with queen, but after queen takes, white is better. They have many good options. Even bishop f4, no. Okay, rook d1 or rook a6 is possible, rook e1. But if rook takes, queen takes b5, it's very bad for black. They are losing pawn without serious compensation. So Rook a1, probably mistake. Not mistake, but rook takes e8 was strong. Rook takes e8 was much stronger. So queen takes e8 is the best. Okay, now probably rook a6. It's not only move, but quite promising one. So if knight e5 takes, if queen takes g3, bishop f4 is coming. So sorry, queen takes c3 now. It's possible. No, queen takes c3. So not this. So queen takes e8 looks like the best, but now, no, what is the best for white? Knight g5 is also possible. If knight e5, queen g3, something like this. It's also possible. Knight takes b4, very risky because queen f3. Okay, white is not winning, but white is better. And white has many promising ideas here. Yes, rook e1, yes. Queen d7, knight g5, maybe knight, yes. Knight e5. But now even rook takes e5 and knight takes f7 can be dangerous. So even this necessary to consider. This bishop takes d5. It's probably losing for black. So yes, rook e1. Queen d8. Okay. Yes, h4 is good move. Black has no knight e5 anymore, so black has no contraplay. Yes, h4. Yes, so here Lasker missed his chance. So rook a d1 wasn't the best move. Rook takes e8. Now he took with bishop, so he's not afraid rook takes e5. Rook takes e5 is possible, but okay, it's possible, I mean, with this kind of ideas. This, just take here, or take immediately. Okay, so this and then bishop e5, bishop d4. So white is out of risk, but it's question if white has winning chances. Maybe not. Maybe this is more or less drawish, but okay, not so easy to estimate this. Okay, so Lasker played h3, so he didn't take e5. Queen d6. So Schlechter is careful, so now c6 not possible because rook takes e5 already works and wins with pawn on h3, so c6 is mistake. So book, difficult to say, many good books. About rook endgame, excellent book was written by Levin Fish and Smyslov, if you are interested. But it depends what are you interested in. Middle game or opening. So about opening, okay, books of Viktor Moskalenko, Mikhail Marin, Boris Avruch, I like. So queen d6, and after queen d6, Lasker stopped to play for review. So he took on d5, so okay, he missed advantage. But okay, black is ready to play c6. So if white, okay, white can play, of course, bishop e3, bishop d4, or bishop c5 firstly, but probably it's not a serious. This. So Lasker took on d5, so he won the pawn, but contraplay started. So pawn b4 is hanging. But still doesn't look like easy draw yet. Avruch about Catalan, excellent book. Marin about English opening. So now white has pawn up and played rook b8. So I understand that rook b7 not possible because rook takes b4. If rook takes c7, rook b1 check and bishop e5, black losing rook. So rook b8 is logical, but now it's very logical to play rook b7. Yes, bishop h2, yes. Bishop h2, king f1. Also maybe king takes h2 and rook d7 not so bad as well. Even here white is better, but king f1 is more simple. So bishop takes c3. Okay, but so knight e5, knight takes. But he took with bishop. What was problem to take with rook here? It's also a question for me. Because now if white just take and bishop takes e5, and if white takes on d5, I will take comfortably to c3. If queen f3, always rook f5 is possible. So probably rook takes e5 was reasonable alternative. Black is prepared for c6. I don't see special advantage for white here. So rook takes e5, bishop takes e5, so he took the pawn. So, but now he played b5. Okay, maybe rook b7 was more precise, but okay, objectively this endgame should be drawish. But okay, so white can try something. He played b5. Check, check, f4. f4. Looks like anti-positional somehow, but okay, g3 it's much more natural to prepare bishop to e3. So what he afraid? Bishop d4 afraid. But okay, pawn f2 is not attacked really. So white always has rook f8, rook f3 at least. So very strange decision for me, f4. So g3, correct move, and rook e1 and rook e8. What do you mean? So bishop d4, okay, but white has many options. Rook c8 is possible, for example. Because important that f2 pawn is not attacked immediately. White always has rook f8 check. Yeah, bishop d4 looks like natural, but after bishop d4, king f1, so it's still not easy draw. So now f4, very strange move. So g3, and now if bishop b6, bishop e3, it's, I'm not sure that this, okay, maybe bishop, okay, after bishop b6, also rook h, because bishop e3, black has rook b1, I'm losing the pawn. But okay, maybe a rook b7. So just now, if bishop b6, bishop e3, it's really unpleasant. Bishop f2, rook takes c7. White has excellent winning chances. Benjamin Feingold, I have seen him, but never met Magnus. Okay, it's special topic. I'm not ready today. Okay, but Lasker played f4. I don't know why. It's very strange move because now his bishop has no contact with important square on e3. So I think this was the best. And still, black has no easy draw at least. Okay, e7, they are fighting, but white has pawn up. Okay, so f4 played Lasker, bishop d4, king g3. So probably he wanted to activate his king, but looks like he just forgot about his bishop. b3 now. Well, f4 is a mistake in my opinion. Now white lost coordination between their pieces. g3 was stronger. g3 and f5, not rook b4. Yes, so now it's obvious that white lost all of his chances because their pieces totally discoordinated. g3, c6. Nice move, bishop is attacked the rook, and now draw is obvious. Oh, draw, so okay. Lasker had advantage, but missed his chances, so excellent defense for Schlechter. Okay, so for today is enough. I hope you are enjoyed. Thanks for your attention. I hope everything was nice. It's my stream. Good night.